Dear learners, my dear learners, welcome to today's online presentation class. Our today's class is from English for Today book. This is Unit 5, Lesson 3, and the title is Crafts at Our. Lesson 3, Crafts at Our Time. Okay, after the class, my dear students, you will be able to do three things. First, you will be able to learn the meaning of some new words. Then you will be able to answer the questions based on these passage. And finally, we will make a flowchart, and this flowchart will help you to understand the reading of the passage. First, this passage starts with a craftwork is an applied form of work. Applied means practical, useful form of art, a social and cultural product reflecting the inclusive means comprehensive nature of folk imagination. A craftwork which usually does not bear the signature of its maker retains means it maintains a personal touch. When we look at a 30-year-old Nakshikata, we wonder at its motifs. Motifs means contents and designs that points to the artistic ingenuity. Ingenuity means creativity and the presence of the maker in it. The fact that we don't know her name or any other details about her doesn't take anything away from our appreciation, from our understanding of the artist. Indeed, the intimate means close, friendly, familiar nature of the katha and the tactile feeling it generates means produces. Tactile feeling produces the work and make it very inviting. Now, my dear students, our second paragraph of this lesson is a craftwork is shaped by the interaction. Interaction means dealing, relation, intercourse of individual creativity and community aesthetics. Aesthetics means values. Aesthetics means the sense of beauty, tastes, etc. Utility means usefulness, usage, functions, and human values. It is distinguished, that means it is characterized by its maker's desire to locate himself or herself in the wider and ever-changing cultural aspirations. Aspirations means ambitions of the community and subsequently of the market. But even when the market is an important factor, community aesthetics remains the factor determining means shaping the form and content of the craftwork. The exquisite means excellent, magnificent terracotta dolls from Dinajpur dating back to early 1940s that form a part of the Bangladesh National Museum's collection were mostly bought from village fairs by some patron. Patron means sponsor, supporter, advocate. There were no doubt meant to be consumer items, trade items, commercial items to be sold. But the dolls mirror community aesthetics in such a manner that the market has not been able to impose its preference on them. Impose means to force, to reflect. Preference means liking, priority, etc. So, dear students, we will be in a better position if we go through the meaning of the following words. First, craftwork, art, artistry, artifice, artwork, etc. Then applied means useful, usable, pragmatic, practical, etc. Then retain means maintain, possess, occupy. Inclusive means comprehensive, encyclopedic, full, in-depth. Then motifs means content, subject, theme, etc. Then ingenuity means talent, productivity, genius. Then comes intimate means cordial, familiar, friendly, or close. Then tactile means touchable, tangible, palpable, perceptible. Generate means produce, create, yield, induce, invoke. Now comes the word animate. Animate means enliven, encourage, vivify, or stimulate. Inviting means appealing, charming, attractive. Now comes interrelation. Interrelation means dealing, relation, intercourse. Utility means service or use. Aspiration means ambition, desire, craving, longing, etc. Aesthetics, we can explain it as tastes, values, and sense of beauty and art. Patron means sponsor, supporter, buyer, etc. Consumer means user, selling, commercial, etc. Impose means apply, establish, implement, and lay. Preference, it means priority, favor, liking, etc. So, my dear student, now let us try to answer some of the questions based on our reading of the passage. First question to be answered is, what is a craftwork? So a craftwork is a practical form of art, a social and cultural product mirroring the inclusive or comprehensive nature of folk, fancy, or imagination. The second question we are to be followed is, what are the charms of a craftwork? What are the charms of a craftwork? The charms of a craftwork are the artistic ingenuity and the presence of the maker. Third, what shapes a craftwork? The answer will be the interaction of individual, that means the dealing of individual, the fusion of individual creativity and community aesthetics, community aesthetics, utility functions, and human values. Human values reflect the shape the craftwork. So, the third question, after the third question, we have the fourth question. How does a Nokshikata impress us? A Nokshikata impresses us by means of its artistic motifs and designs. The last question, to why are the terracotta dolls important? Apart from having utility functions, the terracotta dolls provide us the manifestation of our community aesthetics. So that's why this is important. Now we can have the answer. A craftwork is a useful form of art, a social and cultural product mirroring the in-depth nature of folk imagination. Answer to the question B, the candid nature of the craft and the tactile feeling it creates are the charms of a craftwork. Answer to the question C, the symbiosis between individual creativity, community aesthetics, utility functions and human values shapes a craftwork. Answer D, a Nakshikata impresses us by means of its creative motifs and designs. Answer to question E, the final answer, the terracotta dolls are important as they reflect our community aesthetics. So our points to be pondered are that our answer should be precise and to the point, and we should answer in our own words. That is, we should not use verbatim or word for word from the given text. We should try to be ingenuous, we should try to be creative and productive, and our answer should not be unnecessarily lengthy or irrelevant or out of the context. Our answer should derive from the context. It should match the context of the passage. Next, we are going to face a flowchart showing the features of craftwork, and the first one is done for you, marked by artistic ingenuity. So in order to answer the question, we can follow the following model answer. Look at the thing. If you look at this, marked by artistic genuinity, so the second answer also follows the same pattern, marked by intimate nature. The third one, same case, marked by tactile feeling. The fourth, fifth and sixth one, they have the change in verb, but the form of the verb is past participle, shaped by individual creativity, shaped by community aesthetics and shaped by utility functions. So, my dear students, while answering the flowchart, we should follow the style of the given clue. We should use word or fraction, not a complete sentence to answer the flowchart. And finally, the third thing to be done is that we should avoid articles, using articles and auxiliary verbs in a flowchart. So, a flowchart, you can develop your mastery over a flowchart by practicing more and more. The more you will practice, the more you will master this skill of flowchart. So now, as a recap, we can say that from this passage, we have first learned some of the words, new words which we have come across in this passage: craftwork, applied, retain, inclusive, motifs, ingenuity, intimate, tactile, generate, animate, inviting, then interaction, utility, aspiration, aesthetics, patron, consumer, impose, and preference. So, this passage, going through this passage will enrich our stock of vocabulary, it will enrich our diction, the authority or power of using words, appropriate words. Then we have evaluated our understanding by means of answering 5 questions. The questions, what is the craftwork, then what are the charms of a craftwork, what shapes a craftwork, how does a Nakshikata impress us, finally, why are the terracotta dolls important. And we have given you the model answer to these 5 questions, and then so you have these 5 questions, answer to these 5 questions, and finally we have gone through a flowchart. For answering a flowchart, we have told you again and again that it should be answered imitating the first one given for you. Then we have to remember that we must not use sentence in a flowchart, and we will not use article or auxiliary verb in the case of flowchart. And our flowchart should be properly shaped by the first given one. So, my dear students, hope you will benefit from this class, and that's all for today. Stay home, stay safe. Thank you, everyone. Allah Hafiz.